Hello, Sean from the future here. Just wanted to say it's been a while since I last posted a video. I promise there is a good reason I explained everything in this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hello everyone! Today I'm going to be removing hatred from a hat and injecting a little bit of whimsy. I've got so much dust on my desk from the last project, but today I'm tackling something new and something that's a little bit slower and I can do in my own time and show you guys the results. But let's rewind and I'll tell you guys the story. So, I am a man who is partial to wearing a hat, usually a baseball cap. And for me, as a hearing aid user, here, I have a real issue. And I'll show you one of my favourite hats. I've got this one here. This is one that my husband bought me from my son. It says on it, my favourite people call me Papa, which my son calls me. So I can put this on and this is fine. This is quite a high headband on here, which means it doesn't interfere very much with my hearing aids. Because hearing aids have essentially a speaker on the top, anything that rubs the top of a hearing aid, you just hear it constantly, and it's like this scratching, buzzing, which will drive you mad if you let it go for too long. So whilst I love wearing hats, it's really difficult to find hats that work for me. So I have this one, I have a flat cap, and I have kind of a cap without a brim on it, which I don't wear very often. One of my favourite hats, which fits me really, really well, is this black corduroy baseball cap here, which has a bit of an issue. And it's this, just here. And this very much has to do with the creator of this particular series and her views on certain areas of the LGBT community. Yes, self-proclaimed TERF J.K. Rowling, creator of Harry Potter, is of course a massive issue for me because I am an active member of the LGBT community, meaning that as well as being a gay man, I'm part of a gay choir. I regularly volunteer and help with Pride. I run workshops in association with Pride. I have friends and colleagues who are trans, lesbian, gay, bisexual, all areas of the spectrum of the LGBT plus community. So whilst I love the fit of this hat, I'm not going to wear something that sends out a message that is extremely opposite to my personal views. And I know there is going to be a subset of the community and people that are watching this video that disagree with that. And to you, I say you are perfectly welcome to switch away now. But for those of you that have stayed, I am calling this turning TERF trash into TERF treasure. Okay, so let me explain. I am essentially going to be removing the branding from this hat, leaving me with a pretty blank black baseball cap. But I can't leave it there. I need to do something with this. I need to add a little bit more whimsy in my life. So I'm going to be embroidering lots of different stitches on this to emulate moss and lichen and kind of undergrowth. I want it to look like this hat has been living under a rock, much like some people's mindsets. And essentially we're going to be keeping the fantasy element, but going much more down the forest goblin, trash goblin route, basically turning this hat into an extension of my brain. And since it's so well worn, I think it's going to fit with something that's a little bit organic, a little bit cottagecore, a little bit trash goblin. But we're starting off with a big problem, and that is, how do we remove this from the front? Well, luckily, I have a trick for that. So, come in closer, my friends, and let's get to work. Okay, so my camera loves focusing on my hands and not so much when I take them away, so I'll try and keep my hands in shot. But here is the offending item, and you can see really how worn this is. You know, the corduroy is really quite worn in some places. And I haven't really thought this through other than, sure, I think I can do it. So this is the time we're going to give this a proper inspection. So this patch is not properly embroidered. It's embroidered around the edge, but this is a patch that has been added on. Let me just check the back. So you can see we've got the kind of interfacing at the back here, and then there's embroidery around the edge. And I'm hoping, and it looks like it is, but under this, it should just be the hats. Yeah. You can see this is so well worn, it is just gonna come away very easily. Okay, that's a very good sign. I should be able to just to pick most of this away. In fact, I can get a pair of scissors and just kind of scrape a little bit and get as much of this interfacing off the back as I can. Okay, so yeah, that has all come away very nicely indeed. Just picking off these little bits here. So I can see that they have tacked the patch in place with this running stitch here, which we should be able just to cut and then unpick. And then they have just gone ahead and embroidered around the edge. Now I could go through and unpick every one of these stitches, get my seam ripper out and do that. But the next step is going to make that a little bit of a time waste, because we've got this embroidered stitch all around the edge here. I've switched to manual focus, so you should be able to see this nice and clearly now. We've got this embroidered stitch all the way around the edge, and we need to remove that. And the tool that we're going to use for that is this, a disposable razor. It's just a single blade razor, and I'm just going to go ahead and start shaving over that embroidery, and that's going to break all of those stitches and allow us to come in from the front and take the whole thing off. And the good thing with this technique is actually you can remove embroidery from any garment, any item of clothing. If you're thrifting, for instance, and you've got something that you really like but it's got a logo that you don't want on it, go onto the back, go over it with a razor, and it will break all of the threads, and you can start picking at it from the front. Can you see there? I don't know if you can, but all of those threads are now loose on the front, and we're just going to go around the whole thing and get those all off. Ugh, nearly there. Look at all this mess. Give me a few more seconds. Who knew it was so easy to remove hate? Just a razor and some time, and it's all gone. Look how clean this is now on the inside and the outside. Well, in terms of stitches and, as I say, hateful things being removed. I've even removed the tags as well, because I don't want any association with what this hat was. Let's look to the future. One thing I will say is that this hat is actually very grubby. So I'm going to go and give this a wash. It's just going to have a hand wash and dry as per the instructions on the label, which have now been removed. In terms of the decoration on the hat, it's all going to be hand embroidered. I don't know where I'm going to put it. I don't know what stitches I'm going to use. I really haven't planned it out at all. So I think I'm going to go away, and whilst this is being washed and dried, I'm going to do some simple embroidery stitches and just give myself an idea of what I could use to give the impression of moss on this hat. And I will come back and show you some of those stitches once I've decided which ones I'm going to do. So this is going to get a wash, I'm going to have a coffee, I'm going to get my embroidery stuff out, and I will see you soon. Hello and welcome back. So the hat is now all clean and dry, well, as clean as it can get, because it is old and grubby, but that's kind of part of the point. So just under the hat here, I've got some examples of some embroidery stitches that I am going to be using on the hat to create some mossy textures. I wanted to share this as well. I got so frustrated with the threads twisting and knotting, and I hate the skeins that embroidery floss comes in. Let me grab one. So like this one that I haven't done yet. I get so frustrated with these that what I've gone ahead and done is got some bobbins and gone through, and I have done all of the threads that I have. There's well over 100 different threads in here. They're now all on bobbins, so should be nice and easy to get little bits as I need them without worrying about tangling or any of that kind of stuff. So now that we're set with that and we have our hat, I can show you a few stitches that I intend to use. There's little bits of fluff here. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go in the order of the way I've done these. So here we've got French knots, which are a lovely little knot and could be done in different sizes. Here we've got colonial knots, which are slightly different construction. They're a little bit sturdier than French knots, but the French knots are a little bit fluffier, so kind of using a mix of both of these. Over here we've got some bullion knots, which give a really nice texture, and a variation of a bullion knot. This is where instead of being nice and straight, you just create a little loop and you get little bits like this. They kind of look like fungal spores, which I really like. And then finally here, this is turkeying or turkey stitch, and this gives a really nice fluffy texture. Now with this I can go over with a spoolie, which is like a mascara brush or a pottery brush or any kind of really stiff bristled brush. It's really hard to say. Stiff bristled brush, and brush this out and it will go really fluffy like a little clump of moss. Now I've done this all in different colors, but as you saw in here I have lots of different, among lots of other colours, lots of different greens and browns and kind of taupes and beiges. So we have a lot of fun with different colours for this. Now this is not going to be a quick job, and that's exactly why I've chosen to do this video now. You'll notice there's a little bit of a gap between this one and my last video, because tomorrow I am going to the hospital for surgery. I'm having my tonsils out. Finally, I've waited 2.5 years to have them out. I constantly get throat infections, which then stops me from filming and doing other stuff. And if you spent any time on the channel, you'll know I constantly say, oh, I've currently got a throat infection, or this is happening. Last year I had 14 throat infections, 14 tonsillitis infections in the space of 12 months. So by not having tonsils there, that should stop me from getting tonsillitis. So I'm very happy about that, but it does mean that for a while I'm going to be on vocal rest, no talking or minimal talking. Definitely no singing. I've had to take a 2 to 6 month break from my choir. So whilst I'm sat at home, not able to work because I teach and work with children and run workshops and whatnot, I thought I would do this. A nice slow project. It means I'm not really running to a deadline. I can put as little or as much on this hat as I want. And I'm really just going to have fun with it whilst I recover. So with that being said, I am going to go and get ready for the hospital, pack all of my things, and when you come back and I'm able to talk, hopefully this will all be done. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this project and to not getting any more throat infections, so fingers crossed to both, and I'll see you all soon. Hello everyone, it's about a week post surgery. As you can hear, I'm still quite rough, but I've been doing a little bit of work. So I thought I'd show you what I've done. So firstly, we've got some moss down here. This is all chicken work. So firstly we've got this kind of turkey work, fluffy moss, and we've got a few French knot sections. Basically trying to follow where the creases are in the hat. So we've got lots of different colours of green here. I'm not sure how easy. There we go. There we go, nice and focused up. I'm trying to, so we've got a couple of sections here. This is a single colour, and this is single colour here as well. But towards the front, you can see I've started blending colours together and blending colours here too. So this is just turkey work and French knots. I've got lots more that I want to do this, but it's going well so far. I haven't been able to do much because recovery has been a lot worse than I thought it was going to be. I had to go quite deep into my throat to kind of clear everything out, so it's going to be a while for recovery. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm just going to carry on stitching. But here's a mini update, and hopefully when I get back to you this will all be completed and I can take you through all of the different stitches that we've done. Ta-da! I'm back. Yes, it has been some time, but as you can see I have a lovely hat. I'll give you a close-up in just a second, but yeah, oh my goodness, it's actually 3 weeks now post-surgery. I've got most of my voice back. I'm still going to be on singing break for the next 2 to 6 months or something ridiculous like that. I was in a lot of pain. I don't mind sharing with you, I had a couple of weeks of extreme pain where I didn't even want to do this, but every now and then I would pick up a needle, pick up some thread and do a little bit of stitching. So let me take you through what we have here. So I went at this really with a collection of just a few different knots. So for instance, here we have got some French knots. We've also got French knots over here in different tones, a little bit of turkey stitch. Same up here, there's a little bit of turkey stitch. There's a section around the back here which I really love. It kind of looks like lichen, and this is all done with Boolean stitches and French knots. I tried to vary the colour just a little bit. We've got a little bit of this where I've literally just tacked down some yarn on top, and I've even gone ahead and added just a few little mushroom spores in here. Now, the easiest technique that I've used on this is these sections here. So we've got this one just here, this section at the front just there, and this is actually a yarn. It's a moss yarn designed to knit and crochet things that look mossy. I've just taken a little bit, kind of glued it in place, and then tacked it down with some very simple stitches. Now, I'm not going to talk for ages because, as I said, my throat is still not great. But one thing that occurred to me whilst I was making this is, you guys remember my sashiko jacket, right? So this is my visibly mended jacket that I now wear far too much, and I know it's going to end up having a load more visible mending on it. It occurred to me that actually this could also be used as a visible mending technique. In fact, I have got a couple of shirts where the collar has started to fray that are kind of paisley-ish, where a little bit of moss stitched in would actually be quite nice. So I might do a little bit of visible mending but make it look organic, and maybe mix in a few of those sashiko patterns as well. But one thing the delay in making this hat has done, it's pushed back the release of it until Pride Month. Happy Pride, everyone. So as much as this is just a really lovely hat for me to wear, this is a constant reminder to me that every part of the LGBTQIA+ community is valid, and that includes the trans community. Now, there is a lot in the press and media, particularly in Europe, about recent legislations and laws and same-sex bathrooms and all of this kind of stuff going on. I have been involved in Pride for many years. I went to my first Pride at 15. I was marshalling at Pride at 16, 17, and throughout my life, even workshops that I run now are in conjunction with Pride. And I'm going to say right now, if that is something that does not resonate with you, if you are someone who does not align to those values, those principles, I'm happy for you to leave right now. However, if they do, why not help out an LGBT content creator by subscribing to this channel, liking this video, and telling your friends to create their own mossy hat. In fact, I'm running children's crafts at this year's Pride in Chester, and I'm definitely going to be wearing this hat for the day because it gets very sunny and very hot. And at least this will be a conversation piece that people can come up and chat to me about. But for now, I'm going to say thank you for watching today's video. Apologies for it being such a gap since the last one, but I hope with everything explained you can understand why. I do have a lot more projects coming up, including a mural that I'm literally set to start painting tomorrow in a school. So I'm going to be posting some vlog posts about that. But as always, it's been a pleasure to have you here, and until next time, goodbye.